Well, participant friends, today we are going to discuss one of the very important papers of education for all levels of formal education. At the same time, the contents of this paper will help each of you to understand the significance of measurement in our day-to-day life. The specific, name of this paper is Measurement and Evaluation in Education. And from higher secondary level up to degree level, PG level, at the same time, for the students of B.Ed and M.Ed, all are to study this paper, and this is to some extent mathematical and to some extent in comparison to the other papers of education. This paper is to some extent, very difficult to understand the concepts. And today's class is introductory class, and this class will help you to some extent get some knowledge about the first part of the paper, that is measurement. Measurement has special importance in each and every part of our life. Measurement has not only specific significance in the field of education, but in all areas, all domains of our life, measurement has special importance. But when we go to study this paper, we become to some extent frustrated and frightened because of the difficulty of the contents. Anyway, let us start our discussion, and this is the introductory part relating to the first part of the paper. And this is the first unit of the paper, measurement. Here we are to discuss its meaning. And for doing so, we are to depend on, let us discuss a specific quotation which is being forwarded by one of the most famous, one of the most famous researcher and author, or one of the most famous experts. When you can measure, what you are speaking about and express it in numbers, you know something about it. But when you cannot express it in numbers, your knowledge is of a, meager and unsatisfactory kind. Particularly, the students of research also, study measurement, and they are to study. They must understand so much well about measurement, otherwise they never can solve their research problem once they take or follow quantitative research methodology. So friends, it is explained, when you can measure what you are speaking about and express it in numbers, you know something about it. But when you cannot express it in numbers, your knowledge is of a meager and unsatisfactory kind. Let us see, you will find the name of the expert. It may be the beginning of knowledge, that is the measurement, giving the number, but you have scarcely in your thoughts advanced to the state of science. And this is the statement of Lord Kelvin. Kelvin explains very briefly the specific significance of measurement, and this is the photograph of Kelvin. Who is Kelvin? Let us understand, because we are to understand the contents of this paper so much systematically. Let us see the next slide, because Scottish-Irish physicist Kelvin is or was a Scottish-Irish physicist William Thomson, better known as Lord Kelvin. His, see, well-known name is Lord Kelvin, but his original name is William Thomson. And he was one of the most eminent scientists of the 19th century and is best known today for inventing the international system of absolute temperature that bears his name. So to measure temperature, we must have to go to the explanations of Lord Kelvin. British physicist William Lord Kelvin, so he is British physicist William Lord Kelvin, who is well known as Lord Kelvin, also became interested in the idea of infinite cold and made attempts to calculate it. In 1848, he published a paper. This is about Lord Kelvin. Let us see the next slide so that we can know the other parts, on an absolute thermometric scale that stated that this absolute zero was in fact 273 degrees Celsius. 14-May-2018. This is explained by Lord Kelvin. Its division in the Kelvin scale, called a Kelvin, K, that is K is the number, is equal to a degree on the Celsius scale, but the difference is where zero is. In the Celsius scale, 0 degree is the freezing point of water, while in the Kelvin scale, the 0 point is at absolute zero. Therefore, 0 degree K, that is the Kelvin scale, is equal to 273.15 degrees C, or O degrees C is equal to 273.15 Kelvin. So that you can, about Kelvin, a little bit explanations have been given so that you can understand the basic idea of the quotation which is given in the very beginning part of our discussion. Let us see the next slide. By studying the history of the term measurement, we find that it has been derived from the Greek term metron, which very simply means about limited proportion or amount or quantity. So friends, by studying the origin of the term, we find that this is originated from a Greek term metron, and the meaning of this term is, limited proportion or amount or quantity. Let us see the next slide. The terminological, that is the terminological. The terminological means the word history helps us know that the term also has a common root with the word moon and month. In the history of measurement, means above all metron, moon and month, these two terms do have also specific significance for understanding about the history of the origin of the term measurement. In the history of measurement, the terms like moon and month counted much, as the moon and other astronomical objects were among the first measurement methods of time. Let us see the next slide. Thus, the history of measurement is a specific area of concern within the history of science and technology, since the beginning of the process of measurement of various phenomena, objects, matter, things, etc. So friends, for understanding measurement, we must have to go to the field of science and technology. Still, as measurement has special importance in each and every part of our life, crossing the line of science and technology, we are bound to understand the basic concepts, and that's why this paper is very much important for all of you. Let us see the next slide. As for example, the meter, you know so much well, or the meter, this word is also written, was standardized as the unit for length. when we are to measure length, we are to depend on the meter scale. And as the unit for length after the France Revolution, since which time? Just after the France Revolution. And when France Revolution occurred? 5th May 1789 on 9th November 1799. This is the period of France Revolution. And since the time of France Revolution, in the field of measurement, in the history of measurement, the term meter has become so much important for measuring the length of everything else, and has since been adopted throughout most of the world for measuring length with the help of meter. So friends, when a question is being asked to you, how we can measure the length of anything else, then we are to mention about meter. And how meter has come, we have come to know about the history, how it has come to human social order. Let us see the next slide. Measurement, very simply, is the estimation or assessment of the magnitude or amount or degree or extent of some attribute or qualities, quality, trait, feature, power, etc. of an object, matter, phenomenon, etc., such as its length or weight or amount or significance, etc., relative to a standardized unit or entity or division or component of measurement. So friends, there is electricity disruption. Still we are to continue our discussion on for understanding about the basic concept of measurement. You are to understand these contents so much well. Measurement, very simply, is the estimation or assessment. That's why the term assessment is, or assessment bears, the term assessment bears special significance or importance in the field of education. Very simply is the estimation or assessment of the magnitude or amount or degree or extent of some attribute, quality, trait, feature, power, etc. of an object, matter, phenomenon, situation, etc., such as its length or weight or amount or significance, etc., relative to a standard unit or entry or division or component of measurement. Let us see the next slide. Measurement in all cases or situations usually involves using a measuring instrument or tool or device. Without measurement, as for example, we have come to know about meter, the scale meter. You see, for measuring everything else, we have to depend on a specific instrument or tool or device, such as a ruler or scale, you know so much well. With the help of a ruler or a scale or any other measuring device or tool which is standardized or you see calibrate or attuned to compare the object to some standard such as a meter, kilogram, liter, kilometer, etc. So these are some of the scales which are very much standardized for the measurement of various things, various matters, or various components, etc., or various phenomena of the universe. And that's why in our day-to-day life, in all parts of life, measurement is very much important, and in the field of education also, measurement is very much important for the assessment of success or failure parameter or failure domain or domains of various activities which we basically perform in the field of education. So friends, we are starting to discuss here. These are the very basic explanations relating to the concept of measurement, and we are discussing about the introductory part of measurement, and that's why the little concepts or the little explanations which have been forwarded here in the slides will help you to some extent understand or develop a basic concept relating to the term measurement. And my suggestion to you, all of you, is you please repeat the explanations so that your concept become much clear, so that in future also this very rough paper, in a sense, the contents are not so much interesting, very easily you see you can understand and keep in mind for your future necessity, maybe academic or other necessity. So thank you so much for today. We are to continue our discussion, and in the coming class the other part will be discussed so that your knowledge become much clear. Thank you so much.